Hey, yo, what's up, ladies and gentlemen? You know what it is. It's Monday, beautiful week ahead of us, a beautiful, productive week ahead of us. So, guys, welcome to the Monday Live Analysis. It's one of your mentors from CADCHF Corporations, also known as The Brain. But without wasting any more time, guys, make sure that you do the most. Make sure that you do like, do comment down below and tell us which pair we could analyze next, and tell us where you're from. And most importantly, make sure that you subscribe, guys, because the more you subscribe, the more our channel reaches a lot of people out there. So with that being said, we have 3 pairs for you guys. We have 3 pairs for you. So we have currency pairs mostly, which is GBPNZD, USDJPY, CADCHF. So those are the pairs that we'll be covering throughout the video. But with that being said, guys, the platform that we are using to analyze these pairs, it's called TradingView. So make sure that you click the link below and it will take you straight to TradingView. But with that being said, let's just dive deep into the charts. Yes sir, yes sir. So with that being said, guys, wishing everybody a productive and a beautiful week ahead of you guys. God bless you all, and you know what it is. And then if you haven't checked out our latest video, make sure that you do check it out, guys, because we are dropping fire content only, guys. So let's start first with the first currency pair, which is GBPNZD. That is the first currency pair that we are going to start analyzing, and I'm going to share with you my thoughts and my anticipation for this pair, right? So with that being said, let's just get straight into business. So let's start from a higher time frame and going down to a smaller time frame. So the reason why we start with a higher time frame, guys, is because we want to identify where is the trend going on a higher time frame, and also we want to determine the overall direction, right? So that is why we start with a higher time frame. So guys, if you could see clearly, right, on the GBPNZD, this is our low on the daily structure, and this is our high on the daily structure. But let me just include my watermark so we can follow and actually understand which time frame we are in and which pair we are analyzing. So about that, beautiful. Okay guys, and also I can see that we have another low here. So on my daily structure, I'm going to identify my levels when the market actually rejected E4, right? Yes. And also I can see that my left hand side, we also had a beautiful double top right there. Nice one. So let's look at the current structure, guys. As you could see, GBPNZD was very bullish, right, in an ascending order. Bless me. So let's identify this ascending channel. Let's identify this ascending channel and let's close this trend line. Okay, beautiful. After identifying this ascending channel, we know that an ascending channel is a reversal pattern. Not only did we have an ascending channel, but we also had a double top, which is also a reversal for us. So that is why we are seeing GBPNZD being bearish for the past few days and weeks. So I want us to focus on the current trend, right? What is happening currently right now? And then if you see an opportunity or entry that suits you, make sure that you execute it, guys. Let's move down to the 4-hour time frame, which is the next time frame. So after moving to the 4-hour time frame, I can also see that because we have been bearish, right? Because we have been bearish, I took this as my impulse, right? The market right now is correcting, which means the market is forming a correction as a continuation to the downside, right? So this is going to be our first take profit level, and this is going to be our second take profit level. But we'll see what the market presents along the way. So with that being said, let's Let's see what else are we seeing on the 4-hour time frame. So on the 4-hour time frame, I'm not seeing nothing much. So let's move on to the 1-hour time frame. So the more I dive deep into this time frame, the more clearer the chart becomes, price action. So because this is a correction, I'm going to take this as a larger correction, right? I'm going to take this as a larger correction. So I'm going to put this in a correction form. So one thing that I'm also seeing is that the repetition is key, guys. If you could see something, repetition is key, right? This was an impulse. This was a correction. Impulse. This was a correction. Impulse. Right now what's happening? We are in a correction form. Impulse to the downside, right? So that is my anticipation for GBPNZD, but we don't control the market, we follow what is being presented. So let's see what's being presented at the current moment, right? So one thing that I can see is that here, beautiful correction. We broke to the downside. This was a small correction, but you will see it on the 15 minutes time frame. We're still getting there. So my anticipation is, bear with me guys, bear with me. My anticipation is first touch, right? This became our what? Our second touch, right? And here we are anticipating a what? A third touch, which is this steep correction. This deep correction, guys. Make sure that you wait for this deep correction to mature enough before you can say execution to the downside. But also, this is the first probability, right? 1, 2, 3. On our third touch, what do? We execute, or you could wait for the first potential correction, then execute those sales going to the downside, right? You could take a risk entry on the third touch, or you could wait for the first correction to mature, then execute to the downside. It will just depend on you guys, right? So with that being said, let's move down to the 15 minutes and let's see what's also being presented. Here I can see that I'm seeing a small correction, which is a steep one, which is a steep correction. And a steep correction is very tricky because it can break any time, guys, right? So you need to wait for the confirmation that you're looking for. Here I can see that we have a level, right? This could act as a double top, then break to the downside. Or we could wait for a potential third touch, right? So now it's just a matter of applying patience, right? So with that being said, this is going to be our first potential take profit, right? And then going down, then we take more profits. But the first potential take profit is going to be here. Reason being, this is going to be our what? Let me just close this. So this is going to be our correction. Sorry about that. This is going to be our impulse correction, which is the steep correction. Then a break to the downside is going to be the next impulse, right? So that is my anticipation on GBPNZD. The reason why I'm saying that is because we have been bearish, guys. We have also been bearish for quite a long time. So because we have been bearish for quite a long time, we need to go with the flow. Where the trend is going, that is where we are going, guys. Because you cannot go against the trend, right? So because we have been bearish, this is the first correction. And we know this correction is a continuation to the downside. Or it could be a reversal. But the way I'm seeing it is a continuation to the downside. So for now, we could wait for this deep correction to mature. Like I said, on the 15 minutes, you will definitely identify this correction. But on a higher time frame, you couldn't, right? So like I told you before, the more you dive deep into those charts, smaller charts, the more clearer the price action becomes. So with that being said, for GBPNZD, I'm looking for selling opportunities, guys. But remember, it's either it's a potential third touch or is a potential double top here. For now, we just apply patience, right? But I would say there's a potential of GBPNZD giving us a third touch, right? There's a potential. of GBPNZD giving us a third touch. Reason being, this has been a steep correction for quite a long time, right? Yeah, so with that being said, guys, as I told you, you could take a risk entry or wait for the first potential correction to the downside, right? Yeah, it will just depend on you guys. And remember, you also have to check your fundamentals for the week, right? Even though we have technicals. But with that being said, let's move down to the next pair. Let's move down to the next pair, guys. So the next pair that we have is GBP, it's USDJPY. So about that. The next pair that we have is USDJPY. So on USDJPY, I'm just gonna focus on the current trade. I'm just gonna focus on the current trade. But as you can see, we have been bullish, right? We have been bullish. So one thing that I'm seeing here is that we had an impulse, correction, impulse, correction, right? So let's see what's happening on the current correction. This correction could be a continuation or it could be a reversal, right? So let's see what's happening. Let's identify our high and let's identify our low. Let's identify our high and let's identify our low. Okay, so this is my current high, right? This is my current high. And this is my lowest low. Beautiful. After identifying my current high and my lowest low, I'm also going to identify levels where the market actually rejected, guys. Yeah, we also rejected here. And this was our highest high, right? Before we actually broke it. This was our highest high. So with that being said, let's use our channel lines now. We're going to use our what? Our resistance channel line. So this is my 1 month. Okay, sorry about that. Let me start it here. This was my 1, 2, 3. But because we have feature analysis, I'm going to stretch out my channel. And then I'm going to clone this trend line and do the same for my support channel line. Beautiful. So in that way, I can see that we are actually trending upwards, right? I could start it here, still no problem. I could still start it here, still no problem. But remember, we are trending upwards, so we are in an uptrend. And one thing that I know is that this is a potential reversal correction, right? Which is a type of an ascending channel, right? Or you could say this is a rising channel. But because right now we are at the resistance trend line, there's still potentials of selling opportunities, right? Reason I'm saying that is because this was our highest high and we never came back to retest it. So there's still potential of having a correction coming to retest our previous level before we can shoot up and have a double top, right? And also remember, it's a reversal to the downside, right? So for now, let's see what's happening and what is being presented on the current. So let's move down to the 4-hour time frame. Let's move down to the 4-hour time frame, guys. But like I told you, remember to like, comment down below, and hit the subscribe button, guys. Make sure that you turn on the notification bell, so every time you drop, you'll be the first one to watch and take action, guys. But with that being said, let's just continue with the video. So as you could see, USDJPY has been bullish, right? So this was an aggressive impulse, guys. So because we had an aggressive impulse, right now we know that we are going to wait for a potential correction, right, as a continuation to the upside. So let's go down to the 1-hour time frame and let's see what's being presented on the 1-hour time frame. Okay, so on the 1-hour time frame, nothing much is being presented. Let's go down to the 15 minutes time frame. Okay, Beautiful. So as you could see, we have been having the small corrections, right? We have been having the small corrections as a continuation to the upside. As you could see, we also had a small correction here and a small correction here. So let's look at what's happening on the current. Right? So on the current, I have a high. So this is currently my high. So for us to actually have a pullback to the downside, let us create the double top, then a continuation to the downside, right? Before we could say we are having a continuation to the upside. But if not, this could be a potential correction, right? So USDJPY, I'm looking for a pullback sell, guys. I'm looking for a pullback sell. But with that being said, let's move down to the last pair of the video. Let's move down to the last pair of the video. Okay, so the last part of the video that we have right now. The last part of the video that we have currently right now, the last but not least, it's CADCHF. CADCHF. So we are seeing something that is being presented and it's quite impressive. It's quite impressive. So I'm going to focus on the current, right? On the current chart. But if I could zoom out completely, then this is the structure that I have. Identify my lowest low on the daily, and this is my highest, right? And also I could say this is my highest also, right? So how the market is moving on the daily structure, it is actually going to guide me throughout the smaller time frames. So remember, impulse. So about that. So as I was saying, we had an impulse correction. This was an impulse correction. Impulse market forming a correction. So I am anticipating an aggressive impulse to that side, right? But it will take time, but patience. So with that being said, let's see what is being presented on the current market, right? We are looking at the current market. So because we have an overall picture of what's happening, let's look at the current market. So guys, as I said on the current market, I took this as a correction, which is a sideways consolidation phase, right? So this was my 1, 2, 3 on the lower, and also I did the same on top, right? This was my 1, 2. Now I have a third touch yet, but I did have a third touch, which was my 1, 2, 3, right? So I'm going to reduce it and make it 1, 2. So far this is my resistance, right? So far this is my resistance. And also on this correction, I still have a low. Remember, I still have a low on this correction. I still have a low. So what's something so interesting inside this correction, right? We have an impulse. This is a correction. The market is giving us a potential to the upside, right? If we do break it, then we are going to see a continuation correction, still breaking out to the upside, right? So it's just a matter of time. Let's not rush the entry, but let's see what is being presented and how can we execute that entry. So let's move down to the 4-hour time frame and let's see what's being presented. But guys, like I said, remember to like, comment down, and subscribe, guys. Make sure that you hit the notification bell. So with that being said, because we are in a correction, so this is a pattern within a pattern, guys. We have a pattern within a pattern, right? Which confirms that we still have buying opportunities. So this is my resistance on the 4-hour time frame. On the 4-hour time frame, remember, on the 4-hour time frame. And this is my low on the 4-hour time frame. So let's dive deep into 1 hour and let's see what's being presented. So guys, as you could see, because we had a pattern within a pattern, let's look at this channel for now. This channel we broke impulsively. But something so interesting happened before we actually broke. We had an impulse, market gave us a correction. People thought this was a reversal to the downside, but unfortunately it was not. It was a continuation. So currently right now, impulse, we are in a correction phase, right? So as you know, guys, the market moves in three phases: impulse, correction, impulse. So because right now we are in a correction phase, we are predicting what the next impulse to the upside, right? So I guess that is fair enough. So with that being said, let's move down to 15 minutes time frame, and let's see what's being presented on the 15 minutes time frame. So on the 15 minutes time frame, guys, as you could see, this is my 1, 2, and on top I still have the same. So remember, this is a correction. This is a correction, guys. So it's either you wait for a potential risk entry or you wait for a reduced entry, right? So it's really up to you whether you enter on the risk entry at the support trend line or you enter on the immediate breakout. It's really up to you guys. But for CADCHF, I'm still looking for more buying opportunities to the upside, right? The reason being that we are seeing confirmations, guys. Doesn't mean that we are seeing confirmations, right? CADCHF is actually bullish, guys. It's actually bullish, but we are in a correction phase. So in a correction phase, you can still find opportunities, right? So like I said, on the 4-hour time frame, we have a pattern within a pattern, right? Or you could say it's trends within trends, right? No matter what you call it, it's still terminology, guys. So with that being said, still looking for more buying opportunities. Reason being that we are in a correction phase and we still have a small correction within a correction. So there is a channel within a channel or pattern within a pattern. It does not matter, guys, but we are still looking for more buying opportunities, right? But with that being said, it's one of your mentors for the Capital Legal Provisions. Guys, really appreciate it a lot. But with that being said, make sure that you do the most and keep doing what you do best, guys. Keep supporting this channel and make sure that you do the most, guys. But with that being said, it's your boy and we out.